Which of those four is it when you talked to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
Maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac killed.
According to the press, did he face questions about his alleged role in Tupac's murder after being mentioned 77 times in a new legal filing, as well as new updates happening in Tupac's case? In case you missed it, officials are looking into Tupac's death and the involvement of Snoop Dogg and Diddy. Arrests are planned for rappers Diddy, Suge Knight, and Snoop Dogg, who are implicated in murder cases. When the journalist revealed the reason for Tupac's federal government allegiance.
Well, it turns out when I talked to Tupac's longtime mentor, political mentor, former Black Panther Chokwe Lumumba, who was his first business manager, he's told me, I basically asked, well, was Tupac only pretending to be in order to appeal to gangs and politicize them? And he said yes. And that was part of his thug life agenda they came up with his imprisoned stepfather, Tupac Shakur. And so Tupac was just using that in order to get the and the leaders to call peace truces, first in Los Angeles, then throughout California, and then throughout the country. And that was why he was pretending to be this type. And really, he was just an intellectual prodigy.
When the company heard that Tupac was a Fed, Diddy put a bounty on him, and he was eventually sold for $1 million.
All four of those occasions are San Diego, Anaheim, Irvine, and Vegas. Which ones do you actually talk to Puffy at?
Every one.
Every one of them. Which of those four is it when you talk to him about murdering Tupac?
It was really about both of them. Either one. It was
Tupac and Suge, you mean?
Yeah.
The latest court filing states, a former LAPD officer claims that Suge dealt with Biggie in response to Diddy paying $1 million to deal with Tupac. 50 Cent would react on stage to this viral video by stating, 50 Cent says he doesn't like Diddy because he had Tupac gone.
When they leave me to talk, because I always say the wrong thing. Last time they left me, I said something about Puffy. You saw that? Yeah! I gotta stop doing that. I've been talking to a therapist trying to help me with the I'm saying. I said crazy no reason. Oh wait, maybe I said it to my boyfriend because he got Tupac killed.
Now, in a frenzied online state in a widely shared interview, Diddy was asked about Tupac's death and had an odd response.
It was this documentary that claimed, which we know wasn't true.
Yeah, check this out. We don't talk about things that are nonsense. We don't even entertain nonsense, my brother. So we're not even going to go there with all due respect, but I appreciate you as a journalist asking. Thank you.
Because listen, 7 years ago, I'd have been like, yo, did you hire somebody? But no, you have to do it like a journalist.
Yeah, no, I mean, we wouldn't even get into nonsense like that. You know what I'm saying? It's nonsense.
Which we never believed, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
Fans found proof that connected Snoop Dogg to the crime, which makes Diddy's actions even more terrifying. The feds begin by questioning Snoop's involvement in this interview, as he makes it clear that he was supposed to be in the BMW with Tupac and Suge Knight, but abruptly changed his mind.
With Tupac, though, in regards to Tupac, I heard a story, did you give him different advice that night on where to go?
I didn't give him no advice.
Right.
We wasn't seeing eye to eye.
Right.
So.
Saying during the Tyson.
Yeah, this incident that I'm explaining to you right now was the day before that.
Okay.
So when they got to Vegas, they went their way, I went back. I mean, when we got to LA, they went to Vegas and I went home. That's why I wasn't in the car with them.
Since Snoop indicates that he was supposed to be in the BMW, but chose not to travel because of last-minute changes. The altercation between Snoop, Tupac, and Suge Knight the day before was most likely the reason for this.
Last time me and Tupac was on the same page, and I did an interview with Angie Martinez, and she asked me how did I feel about Puffy and Biggie, and I told her that I like their music and I want to do music with them. Bro didn't like that, Tupac didn't like that, so we had a misunderstanding. So on the flight back to LA, I didn't feel comfortable around them for what they had did, as far as I didn't let my security ride with me. So to protect myself and to, prevent from happening, I slept under a blanket with the knife and the fork just in case something was to go wrong, but it didn't.
Many people think Snoop Dogg, who was extensively tapped into the streets 20 years ago, might have gotten a tip that Tupac was going to be targeted tonight. Therefore, he chose not to get in the car. Even more, the feds found another conversation where Snoop says he thought Tupac disliked him 2 days before Tupac died. Given that this occurred within 48 hours, the police found Tupac's murder to be highly suspicious.
A week before he died, we was best of friends. 2 days before he died, I don't think he liked me.
Why?
Because we was in New York, and it happened. New York, they shot at me and did all kind of shit to me, like just the worst you could think of. And I forgave him. And went and did an interview and was asked, how do I feel about Puffy and Biggie? And I was like, I want to do some music with him. And that just rubbed Cuz the wrong way, like tried to me, out at you, and you talking about you want to do a song with him. I wasn't thinking about his emotions. I was thinking about the way I felt at the time. I wasn't into no controversy. I liked his music. They was our friends. We was all friends at one point. This video footage of all of us hanging out.
And Sue Gay Knight, the head of his record company, traveled to Las Vegas on September 7, 1996, to attend an MGM Grand bout between Mike Tyson and himself. In the hotel lobby, they noticed an off after the game. However, as Keffy D, the hitman paid to do the hit, described how Diddy's wish took Tupac out. The physical evidence shown during the Diddy trial chilled the courtroom.
And their entourage went to the Mike Tyson, the MGM Grand. Keffy D and his nephew, Orlando Lane Anderson, and 2 of their friends were also there. Keffy D told LAPD Detective Greg Kading more than a decade ago, in a proffer that couldn't be used against him, the shooting was retaliation after Tupac jumped Orlando and beat him up at the casino. Surveillance cameras recorded the fight. Tupac was angry that Lane had stolen his necklace years prior in Compton. Tupac, Suge Knight, and the entourage left the casino quickly.
About an hour later, after security broke up their fight. With the operations, Tupac and Sue would head back to their hotel to change. At approximately 11 p.m., they would go to a club to party all night. But when traveling along the Las Vegas Strip, they would be stopped at a red light, and an opposing vehicle would drive up on Tupac's side, which is where the conflict would occur.
About Tupac's concert at the Club 662. Members, including Orlando and Keffy D, jumped in their white Cadillac and started cruising the strip looking for the offender. Before long, they finally spotted Tupac's caravan. At the intersection of East Flamingo Boulevard and Koval Lane, the white Cadillac pulled alongside the black BMW with Suge on the driver and Tupac on the passenger seats. The back window of the Cadillac rolled twice in the chest, once in the arm, once in the thigh.
What happened after the tragedy was a mystery for over a decade. One of the disturbing interviews that a man named Keffy D gave on DJ Vlad's show was about how they located Tupac, actually pulled up on him, and committed the crime. The police investigated these talks and always arrested Keffy D immediately to obtain additional information.
And Bubble Up was the driver, and Baby Lane and Freaky were in the back seat.
We was just all in the car together. Just say that.
This was the white Cadillac.
Yeah.
So you guys are driving around, and then you hear these girls say, Tupac, Tupac.
Got to the light. He was supposed to go drink, and he happened to be hanging out the window. He's hanging out the window like he was in a parade.
Tupac?
Yeah, he was.
So what happens next? You said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat.
You went on to say that Tupac was singled out because he was reaching for his gun while pulled up at a red light. Tupac was about to retaliate, so the criminal moved swiftly.
Said that as you're driving up towards the BMW, with Suge driving and Tupac in the passenger seat, and you said that Tupac pulled out.
It looked like he was reaching, yeah. Yeah, it did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you actually?
No, Once he got the region, I got the junkie.
So someone from your car
That's what happened.
started at Tupac and Suge.
Noticed Tupac and trembled because Tupac was preparing and knew something was coming, but he wasn't fast enough. Making such ludicrous claims as a DJ was quite absurd. To provide some evidence that Kai D was there and that his statements were true, Vlad would publish an extraordinary interview the night of the crime demonstrating his presence and the fact that the police had previously
You say Suge looks over, he sees you. He looks right at you.
Yeah, he looked at me.
Okay. When he looks over at you, and then Tupac's busy getting. Evidently, the story is Tupac's trying to either get out of
In
the
the
line.
back seat or something.
Yeah. What do you see happening inside of their
Jumping
car?
in. I seen him going Suge head. I thought he was.
So Orlando across Dre?
He leaned over on the window. We rolled down the window.
They would also discover his formal response to Tupac's death throughout the investigation. I really detest it. Dog.
Yeah, I hate that happened, dog. I really do, man. Cause it took a lot of people's lives, dude. Hate that happen. Promise God. I feel that was wrong, man. It was just wrong, purely wrong. You know what I'm saying? I wish it had never happened. You know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on it. Wish it never happened, dude.
The new police files went viral online. And that created a massive hole in the whole story, dude. Even though the police files didn't provide much proof, Redditors went on to build a popular thread that had bits of evidence that Tupac was still alive. However, this is where the oddness begins. As Trey was asked about Tupac prior to a show in 2010. Previously, Trey and Tupac were good friends and even worked together on a couple of records. But the cameraman neglected to stop filming after Trey's interview, and he dropped his camera to the floor. When the reporter probes him about Tupac in the video, Trey responds, "Last time I saw him, he was in Cuba."
If you ain't ready for it, get on the sidewalk.
One last question.
Nobody knows.
Y'all good? Yeah, we good. Thanks a lot, man. We good.
A video purportedly showing Tupac relaxing in a Cuban parking lot will be posted on a news website just 3 weeks later.
That's Pop, man. He was the outlaw. And Reg from Holla Back. He's trying to be friendly and get autographs. Holla Back exclusive, baby. Holla Back.
To make matters worse, Suge Knight has been asserting that Tupac is still alive. He disclosed that Tupac was doing well in the hospital before he passed away in one interview, stating, quote, "Tupac and I were joking and laughing when I left that hospital. How someone can go from performing well to performing poorly is beyond me."
When I left that hospital, me and Pac was laughing and joking. So I don't see how somebody can turn from doing well to doing bad.
So you seriously think that he might still be alive?
I'm gonna tell you this, Pac, you never.
Though Tupac was reportedly in a coma. Suge Knight stated in an interview from 2008 that Tupac was alive and doing well. How could he and Suge Knight be smiling if Tupac was not conscious?
He was conscious on the way to the hospital.
He was conscious on the way to the hospital. He was conscious in the ambulance. He was conscious after they did the surgery.
What was the last thing that he said to you?
Last but not least, this is Hollywood, and if Tupac were a police officer masquerading as a rap gangster, he would eventually die if he told everyone he was still alive. But tell us what you think in the comments below.